Hey fellas, happy Thursday. Hope you guys are doing all right with everything. Um, we're just going to kind of continue to the next step of our design for our kind of improving on some design or how a certain website or app might look. So just to kind of recap, yesterday, or I mean, on Tuesday, you guys submitted to me, three screenshots of a website or a app, and then you kind of listed a couple things in a paragraph about what you might change in order to make it more useful for you as the user, right? You talked about maybe things you'd get rid of or things you'd add, or maybe reorganizing how it looks, where certain aspects of it are on the screen, right? Because we're talking about the interface, how you, the user, are interacting with the app right in front of you on the screen, right? So we had three different sites or three different apps, and our next step today is to kind of act on those words that you wrote about how you would change it, what you would do, what you would add, color, whatnot. So for our step today, I'd like you to take two of those three that you talked about. Maybe read back over what you wrote and say, yeah, these changes would make the most sense, or I have more ideas for this site. So you need to pick two of the three. And what we're going to do is kind of, start to actually act on some of those changes. So what I need from you uh, by the end is that initial screenshot, right? So that initial picture or screenshot you took from the app or the website, and then under it, you're gonna kind of start to create the new interface or the new look, how you would want it to look, right? So we can do that a couple ways. You could physically draw it. You could go to Paint. You could start to kind of sketch out, like, here's my. Wow, that looks awful. Let me fix that. Right here is my kind of web page right here. Um, and then you could go in and start to label, different boxes, something, and then inside each box, you could maybe write, search area, something like that. And then another box, this is where the news feed might be, whatever website you chose, you can go in and start to kind of make those changes, how it would look with your changes. Okay, another way you could do it is if you're just kind of rearranging certain things, like here, let's go to ESPN. You can use the snipping tool, to kind of I want to keep the the news bar, the news feed. I want to keep this, so you could snip it and then you could take the image and then move it to where you would want it to be on the website. So that's the snipping tool. Okay, so what we're doing today, I don't want to say that. What we're doing today is taking those initial websites and those initial changes that you want to make, and we're going to kind of draw a sketch of it, how you want it to look. If you're going to add in anything, it's important that you say, in this space, this is where I'm going to have this. Or if you're going to take something away, obviously you need to replace that space with something else, right? We want a full page, full web page, a full app of usable space. We don't want any space to go to waste. So if you're getting rid of something, it needs to be replaced with something. If you're moving something around, right, you need to account for that new space. So we're taking two of the three that you talked about on Tuesday, and we're going to start to act on those changes. So what I need from you by the to turn into me is the starting point, the initial screenshot of the site, and then underneath it is kind of how it would look with your changes. Okay, so I need that for two, right? So ultimately, you're really turning in four pictures, two of them being the initial screenshots, and the other two being how they would look after you've made the changes. Okay, so you can do that on Microsoft Word. Paint, whatever, snipping tool. Just by the end, we want those screenshots, and so I can very easily see the changes you made. Right, I can hold up the initial, and I can hold up your remake, and I can see the difference it would look. Um, so this is just kind of the next step, right? We kind of brainstormed last class. Now we're going to start to act on some of those, the brainstorming we did. Okay, so at the end of class, I need those 4 screenshots. If you have any questions, go ahead and email, or if you want to need a video chat or just a quick message, Microsoft Teams might be the best thing there. We have our class file right here. Okay, so message on here, that's great. Video chat, that's great too. Audio, that's great too. Okay, so by the end of class, I need those 2 initial web pages, and then underneath them, how you would change them and what it would look like. All right, let me know if you need any help. Hope you guys' day is going well. We're almost to Friday. Peace.